Hi all, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to our Thursday edition of Daily Talk. We have two amazing stories today. One is the story of Hargol Industries, an Israeli Galilee-based company that had taken on the task of producing high-quality protein in a biblical way by growing locusts. Their CEO will be with us just shortly. The second is a story of tradition, faith, and survival, an amazing restoration of a synagogue in northern Germany, a synagogue that was inactive since Crystal Night back in 1938. Okay, let's start. Okay, my first guest today is Dror Tamir, co-founder and CEO of Hargol Foodtech, an innovating startup in the food industry. Hi, Dror. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, let's start with the name. What is the name Hargol? It's even for me difficult to pronounce.
Well, our goal comes from the Bible, from Leviticus. In Leviticus, it says that grasshoppers are kosher, and they mention several names. They mention Chagav, they mention Hargol, and they mention Arbe. On the translation to English, Chagav becomes grasshopper, Arbe becomes locust, and Hargol is kept as Hargol. So we kept the word, and actually hargol.com was available, so we took that name.
It wasn't taken by anyone else before you.
Exactly.
How did you get to the business of growing locust?
Well, I was born in a kibbutz, and my grandparents used to tell me stories from the 1950s. At that period of time, Israel suffered from locust swarms flying into Israel. They used to run to the fields trying to scare the grasshoppers away with making a lot of noise with pots and pans. However, they saw other Jews, Yemenite and Moroccan Jews, coming to the same field with large sacks and collecting tons of grasshoppers to eat. So as a very young boy, I learned that grasshoppers are part of the diet of many Jewish communities. Fast forwarding 30 plus years into the future, I'm a serial entrepreneur for food and nutrition. I'm learning about the protein challenge around the globe, and the solution was waiting for me. Grasshoppers are an amazing solution.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit, even more. And you mentioned that locust is specifically referred to in the Torah, but I understand that it also appears in the New Testament. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. This is part of what is so amazing about this animal. They are mentioned in the Torah on Leviticus, and they're also mentioned in the New Testament. That was the food of John the Baptist. His food was locust with honey. And it looks like we have plenty of them around in Israel, and now we have the ability to grow them year-round efficiently and provide it to everyone around the world.
So now I understand that it's not just an Israeli entrepreneurship, but it's very specific to the Galilee, right? Perhaps you can explain a little bit about what do you do, where do you grow these locusts, and what do you do with it afterwards?
When we established the company about 6 years ago, we were looking for the perfect location to farm the grasshoppers, and we realized that just north of the Sea of Galilee, just on the banks of the Jordan River, we have the perfect weather conditions to operate our farms. It makes the entire operation much more efficient energy-wise, and we started building the farm. And now we already have 4 farms in those locations, and one of the results is that we are able to provide employment in the rural north part of Israel, which is also a great achievement for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the product. So first of all, well, you grow the locust. I understand that it's not an easy task. So how do you do that, and what do you do with it afterwards? What kind of products do you manufacture out of it?
Well, another amazing fact about locust is that it is the most widely eaten insect in the world. Among 2.5 billion people across the world that eat insects, locust is the one with the highest demand.
Wow.
However, no one was able to grow them on commercial scale, so the supply came from collection in the wild, which has a very short 4-week season. We managed to build the right team with the right expertise, including our CTO that for over 30 years has been growing insects. And we managed to find the right parameters to grow them year-round efficiently, accelerate their incubation from 40 weeks in the wild to 2 weeks in the incubators. And we are now scaling up because we have that technology.
So what you're saying is amazing, because you're basically saying that mankind was able to home grow livestock and cereal and fruit and vegetable and almost anything that anyone eats and consumes, but Locust, which is consumed by so many people, you're stating about a third of the population of the earth, no one was able to home grow it, to grow it in an industrial way?
Exactly. There's a lot of examples around the world of companies trying to domesticate locusts, spending millions and tens of millions of dollars, but failing. It's not as easy as it looks. You need a combination of great team.
It doesn't look easy to me. I don't know. Okay.
Well, it's not. Well, again, I'm an accountant. I know nothing about insects, but it's not as easy as it looks, because it's not only about putting them in a cage, providing them some grass to eat, and that's it. You have to provide them the perfect conditions in terms of temperature, humidity, feed, structure of cage that provides them some of their biological needs, and also the right photoperiod, light, that they require, and even the optimal density that will make them happy. And it's I'm trying to simplify what I'm saying, but this is a very complicated process, and we were lucky enough to be able to accomplish it.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the product. I was asking you beforehand. Basically, what happens with the locust after it's grown in large numbers? What are you manufacturing out of it?
Let's start with the harvesting. What we are doing is something that is also very important to understand. We are following the recommendation of the European Union of minimal harm done to animals.
Okay.
Locust is a cold blood creature. We drop the temperature in our facility, they fall asleep, and then we collect them and freeze them. So there is no stress in the process for the animal. This also results in a much higher quality product. That is the first part. The second part, we ship the grasshoppers, the locust, into a processing plant where we dry them, and later we mill them into a powder. We use 100% of the animal, nothing goes to waste, and that powder is used as an ingredient in a wide range of food products.
Yeah, well, I understand, and you already mentioned before that one of the products is an energy bar. Now, it doesn't show, but I'm actually trying to work out and increase my muscle power. But so in these areas and in the gym and everywhere, you have all these powders, all these protein powders of all kinds. Usually they taste awful with all these ingredients. What about the protein in your product? How does it match to the whey or other sources of protein?
This is a very good question. When you look at whey and you look at the 70% protein whey powder, you are actually looking at a very highly processed product. This is the waste of cheese manufacturing that went through a lot of processing just to extract the protein. If you look at the locust on its own, it contains 70+% protein as it is. So there is no processing required to make it into a product. That is one thing. Second thing, locusts have almost neutral taste and flavor. So you can add it to any food product and you won't be able to tell that there are locusts inside that product. Last part, there's a lot of health benefits that are related. Independent research done in the world showed that they have a lot of advantages improving our health. So there's a lot of advantages in the product. And what we are doing with it right now, we are offering a combination of the opportunity to follow John the Baptist nutrition, eat like John the Baptist, a wide range of food products based on locust, honey, and other biblical ingredients. And on the other hand, improve your diet.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the good thing is perhaps people will eat less tuna fish in order to gain muscle power in the gym.
Absolutely. And I can tell you a secret. We are working with the largest food producer in Israel. We signed the agreement last week. And we are producing a sports protein powder based on the locust protein.
Wow. Okay, one more thing I wanted to understand is about the impact on the environment and the safety of growing such a large number of creatures in the same place. How does that taken care of in your product or in Chagol industry actually?
When we look at the animal-based protein industry, this is one of the most harming environmentally industries. For example, the beef industry alone contributes 25% of greenhouse gas emissions around the globe. That is unbelievable. And when we look at the locust, it is much more efficient to produce than any other animal. It reduces greenhouse gas emissions by 98.8%.
Wow.
It requires 1,000 times less water to produce 1 kilogram of protein. It requires 1,500 times less arable land, and we use 100% of the animal as food, when other animals you can use up to 50%.
Mm-hmm. And so it must have an impact on the price as well. So I know you're just on your first steps towards mass production, but can you compare the price in mass production for I don't know, for a unit of protein, let's say?
Absolutely. Of course, at this point of time, when we are still working on relatively small scale, making our first steps, you can understand that mankind have been farming poultry and other animals for thousands of years, and we've been doing that for 6 years only. So we still have a long way to get to their level of efficiency. However, already now we are competing in terms of actual protein absorbed by the body. We can compete with beef prices. Mm-hmm. And on the long term, we see the opportunity to make the entire operation so efficient, we can get very close to plant-based protein prices. Of course, with a much better product in every aspect.
Wow. Okay, so now, and you've sent me a package. We can tell our audience, you sent me a package this afternoon. And I want to show our viewers the two products. Perhaps I'll show and I'll let you explain what we are seeing, okay? So we'll start. What do you want to start with?
I think we'll start by showing the whole grasshoppers.
Okay.
The whole locust. This is a product that I never thought will be a product. This is just a step on the way of making it into a powder. These are dried locusts. Mm-hmm. Now, when you take those locusts, most consumers in the US and Europe will be disgusted by it. However, we mill those grasshoppers into a powder and we embed them or add them into energy bars. And let's try first the energy bar, and you can tell me if you can taste grasshoppers inside. These are the protein energy bars.
This is amazing, by the way. The combination of the locust and honey. Well, I'll taste it in a minute, but it looks amazing. Okay.
It looks amazing, and it looks like John the Baptist knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, so I'll try to walk in his footsteps, and I haven't tried it with. Now it's the first time. It was closed, and I just opened it. Okay. Well, it looks like a regular energy bar.
Exactly.
I'll just move the mic for a moment. Just like any other bar. Tastes like honey.
Exactly. And you know, you're eating a kosher food because locust is the only kosher insect. Now, if you can taste the locust in the energy bar, I think it makes it a little bit easier for you to try a whole locust now.
I think I've gone far enough for today. Perhaps following the footsteps of John the Baptist will take me a while. But it's very good. It really tastes just like any other energy bar. Has a very strong flavor of honey. You don't feel anything else, and I think we'll probably have oatmeal or something else in it. Very good and very delicious.
Thank you.
Okay, so now tell us what about the availability in the market? When will we be able to buy it in the store?
Actually, from 3 hours ago, our website is up and running. The shop is open. So you can just go into biblicalprotein.com and order your first pack of Locust and Honey energy bars.
Wow, amazing. Well, first of all, it's great innovation, and it's a very interesting Galilee story. And by the way, where do you manufacture the bars themselves? I understand that it is also in the Galilee area. Is that correct?
Exactly. We produce the energy bars where everything started, in Nazareth.
Wow, that's amazing. So the energy bar made out of locust and honey, just like John the Baptist ate, is actually manufactured in the city of Nazareth.
Exactly.
Amazing. One last question with regards to Israeli innovation. I've been talking in my show a lot about Israeli innovation, and I imagine you mentioned you are in the food tech industry for a long time. Do you see any difference in the Israeli innovation with regards to or in comparison to innovation in other places in the world?
Absolutely. I think there is something very unique in Israeli innovation coming from two main reasons. One is that the Jewish people in Israel came from all over the world. And with that background, we have very deep understanding of other cultures and other nations, so we can develop innovation that fits not only us, but other populations around the world. And this also connects to what we believe in, which is tikkun olam, making the world a better place. So for us, that's part of our religion and lifestyle. It's not only about thinking. It's not only about thinking about ourselves. It's about thinking about others and making their life and their livelihood a better thing.
Okay. Well, Dror Tamir, co-founder and CEO of Hargol Food Tech, thank you so much for joining us, and of course, good luck.
Thank you.